Okay, so some of you have already studied this, but might just need a quick recap on making sure we know how to do the constructions. It's really important that you have the correct equipment, and we will lend you any equipment that you don't necessarily have. You will need a compass which already has a pencil in it. You will need a ruler. I suggest you have a spare pencil so you don't have to take one in and out of your compass, and therefore you know it's at the right adjustment to use your compass, and probably have a rubber to hand. So we're going to look at 5 of the key skills. The first skill we're going to look at is to draw the locus of points that are exactly 5 centimetres away from A. So the first thing I need to do is I need to get my ruler. Hold on a second. So I've got my ruler. I also then need my compass. So because it says exactly 5 centimetres away, I'm going to pick up my compass. I'm going to make sure I've got the point of my compass on 0. And I'm then going to adjust my compass to 5 centimetres. So I know that that's set exactly how I want it. I then want it exactly 5 centimetres from the point A. So I'm going to pick up my compass and I'm going to put the point on A, and then from there I'm going to draw a circle. So we call this the locus of points. Anything that is on the circumference of a circle is 5 centimetres from A. Anything inside the circle is less than 5 centimetres. And then obviously anything that's on the outside is greater than 5 centimetres. So that is the first skill we need to be able to do, is to make sure we can draw the locus of points that is exactly 5 centimetres from A. The exam question might say the locus of points which is 4 centimetres, 3 centimetres, etc. So that's the first skill we need. Our second skill is to look at a perpendicular bisector. So if you remember, the word perpendicular means to meet at a right angle. The word bisector means to cut directly in half. Now the obvious thing would be pick up my ruler, measure it and cut it in half. However, that's not what we're allowed to do. We must use the compass for this. So I need to put my compass, it doesn't matter which end I'm starting with, I need to line it up. I must make sure my compass is over half the length of this line, otherwise it will not work. And what I'm going to do, so I'm going to have it about there, and then I'm just going to draw an arc. So I'm going to draw an arc. I'm going to pick it up. I am not adjusting the width of my compass whatsoever. I am going to put it onto the other end, and I'm going to do exactly the same. I am going to draw an arc, and I'm just going to move it off. Now the final step, what I need to do is I need to get my ruler and I need to draw a line, straight line through the 2 points of intersection, so where these 2 arc crosses. So I'm just going to do this as a straight line, and I'm going to go make sure I go dead through that point there and through this point here. Slightly easier for you to do than me, because obviously I'm trying to do it electronically. So what we've now done, perpendicular bisector, this purple line here and the line AB meet at a right angle, and if you measure with your ruler, each side is exactly the same distance. Now the exam question might ask you to shade the side which is closer to B than A. So if I was interested in where would be closer to B than A, in this particular case, anywhere on this side of the line would be closer to B than it would A. If I was interested in it being closer to A than B, then I would shade the opposite side. So it might ask you to do a perpendicular bisector, or it might also ask you to shade one side which is closer to one of the letters than the other. Okay, so the third skill we're going to look at, very similar, is we're going to do an angle bisector. So bisector means, remember, to cut in half. We cannot do this with a protractor measuring it, again because it says the word construct, it means I need to use my compass. If I have a look at that angle, it's the angle ABC. So start at A, go to B, then to C. So that means the point of my compass needs to be on B. Now I need to make sure my compass is at a reasonable distance. I don't want it too long, it's going to be difficult to work with. I don't want it too small. So just seeing what seems to feel a comfortable distance. I've got my point right on B, and I'm going to draw myself an arc, cutting both sides. So I've cut this length here, AB, and also the length BC. I now keep my compass at exactly the same distance what I've just used. I go to one side, I'm going to draw a similar thing, I'm just going to draw an arc. Go to the other side where, oops, hold on, lost it. I'm going to draw an arc. I'm going to pick up my compass up, I'm going to put it on the other side. Again, I'm going to draw an arc. And my final step on an angle bisector is to join the point of intersection to the point B and draw a line straight through. So through here and straight through that point of intersection. If you were to then use your protractor, you would notice that this angle here is identical to this angle here. Now we might get another exam question where it asks us to shade, for example, closer to the line AB than BC. So if I was interested in any area that was closer to AB, I'd want to be on this top half. If I'm interested in anywhere would be closer to BC, then I would shade the area below. Okay, our fourth skill that we might be asked. So this time it's asking to construct the perpendicular line from P, so this point here, to AB. So again, I need to use my compass. I'm going to twist my compass around. I'm going to put the point of the compass on the point P, and what I'm going to do is just open my compass wide enough so that when I swing it round, it just goes underneath. So that's not quite wide enough just yet. Just need to open it a little bit wider. I need it to swing underneath, so that would be absolutely perfect. So creates a bit like a smiley face. And then I have these 2 points here, the points of intersection with the line AB. I am just going to slightly adjust the width of my compass at this point just to make it a little bit easier to work with. As long as I don't adjust it again and I use it at the same distance from both of these points of intersection, it will work absolutely fine. So put the point of your compass on the point of intersection, and then on the opposite side to P, I am going to draw an arc. I'm going to pick up my compass, put it on the other point of intersection, and do exactly what I've just done a moment ago, and I'm going to draw another arc. Final step, because remember it's perpendicular, perpendicular means creating a right angle, so I'm going to draw a line from my point P through the point of intersection. Just like that. And that means that this angle here would be 90 degrees. Now we might get a slightly different question with this one. We might be asked to measure the shortest distance from the point to the line AB. Now if it does ask that and it doesn't talk about a perpendicular, the shortest distance is the perpendicular. So I need to do this, and then I need to measure from my point P to here. So I would grab my ruler and I would measure this distance here. So the shortest distance from P to my line in our case would be 2.5 centimetres. So like I said, in our case it would be 2.5 centimetres. Okay, and the final skill we're going to look at is very similar, but in this case it's asking me to construct the perpendicular to AB at P. So if you notice, P this time is on the line. It's very similar kind of to what we've done before. I'm going to set my compass to what I think is a reasonable length. There's no exact length that it needs to be, okay, as long as it fits on either side. In this case, I'm going to draw, just get it right, what looks a bit like a bracket on either side. So swing it round, and I've drawn a bracket on either side. What I'm basically trying to do is create these points of intersection. Again, if I want to, I can make my compass slightly wider. So I'm going to put my compass on each of the points of intersection, and as always I'm going to draw an arc. I'm going to swap it onto the other side, Again, I'm going to draw an arc, and my final step is to draw a line through the point of intersection and the point P. And therefore I've then created a perpendicular from the point P and AB. So those are the 5 key skills that you need to be able to do with respect to compass constructions.